Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are finishing up the season preview series today. It's the season finale of the season preview series, as we're taking a look today in the Western Conference in the Central Division at a kind of controversial team. I think it's going to be pretty split between them making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. Of course, I'll give my opinion today on the Winnipeg Jets. So the Winnipeg Jets had a very quiet summer. I mean, nobody's talked about the Winnipeg Jets, and I'm kind of torn on them. So you look at what they did last year. They just missed the playoffs last season. And you look at their goals for and goals against last season. That's kind of my indicator for how they did. Goals for was 17th in the league. Goals against was 20th in the league. So they were kind of mediocre in both of those categories. And the only real addition they had to their team was adding David Rittich to basically replace Eric Comrie, who Kevin Cheveldayoff kind of missed the mark on their situation with him. I've kind of talked about it already, but basically if Eric Comrie played another period of hockey, he technically would have qualified for restricted free agency, which meant the Jets would have kept his rights. So total mismanagement by the Jets in that regard, and now they had to replace him with David Rittich, who the last time we saw him got blown out of the water by the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the playoffs last year with the Nashville Predators. So kind of interesting to see. That's the only real addition they made this year, but that's kind of it for the Jets. Their blue line looks pretty good. Their core up front looks good on paper, but when you look at what they've done now for 2 seasons, they've struggled. This is a team that it's the calm before the storm. And I said this last year, but I think this coming year is going to be the test for them. I think we're going to see some massive moves with Pierre-Luc Dubois, Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, and I hope they don't do it, but Connor Hellebuyck. I think all those names are in play this year in terms of potentially being traded. I think the Jets had their chance with this group, and kind of like the Sharks, they just dipped the next season, right? Remember, they went to the conference finals a couple years ago, and since then, they've kind of disappeared out of nowhere. And I think that this team has just grown stale. That core has kind of stayed the same, and nothing's really changed. And they have a new head coach there, and Barry Trotz would have been a perfect breath of fresh air there. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And we're going to see a new coach here. I think he's a good coach, but I'm just not sold on what the Jets have for me. And I just think that even with letting go of Paul Maurice, who I think, to not even his fault, was part of the issue, Rick BOWNESS coming in is good. And I think that's the best acquisition you can make. You saw what he did in Dallas, but it has a very short shelf life. Now, you guys, like I said, remember, he took them to the conference finals. He took them to the cup final in 2020. Can he do that this year with the 2023 version of the Winnipeg Jets? It's totally possible. But I am going to say that they missed the playoffs in 2023. And I would not bet money on it either way, because I think they're going to be right there. I think they're going to be between 7, 8, 9, or 10 in that Western Conference. I think they're going to be very much on the cusp of either being a wild card team or just on the outside of the playoffs in that division and that conference, because I think it depends on what happens with, say, Dallas, Vancouver, Vegas, Anaheim, Seattle. There's a lot of teams in play there that aren't even in their division that could affect what happens to the Jets this season. So, kind of a short one today, kind of wrap things up, but I do think the Jets missed the playoffs this year. I think that there's just a lot of things internally with Wheeler and Scheifele and some of those other guys that there's just a stink in that team. They've got some really good players there. I really like Kyle Connor, a great hockey player. Connor Hellebuyck, one of the best goalies in the league any given season. I just think that core has grown stale. There's some locker room things there. And until that gets rectified and kind of changed, I think the environment is kind of going to stay the same, even with the new head coach there. But if there is any head coach out there that could do it and kind of fix this and turn this thing around, I think it could be a coach like Rick BOWNESS. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the Winnipeg Jets? Do you think they can make the playoffs in 2023? or not. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.